Welcome to Chilltime with Jose. I'm Jose. I'll be your lovely host for today. And, well, the only person on the thing that's doing no editor, just me. And, and all my posters in the background. And we've, got some CSGO action today. Well, not much, really. That's been going on. It's just, big player break. So it's just been mostly, tier 2, tier 3 teams playing. And, we just go through the results. Also, the only main thing that was here this week as well was the Mythic Cup that came up from Face It. They've already done it twice now. And also the Dreamhack showdowns for the female CSGO scene, which I've got to say were very, very exciting, and it's very, very good to watching CLG Red and Originum. They're fairly decent, and it's good to see that the female CSGO scene is getting a lot better as well, because I reckon CLG Red, they're in advanced at the moment for the NA scene. I reckon they could start beating some lower MDL and top advanced teams, given the way they played against Dignitas, which used to be the best NA team, and they basically brushed Dignitas aside like they were nothing. And that generally doesn't happen, basically it's all like Dignitas, Originum, Galaxy Racer from Europe, and CLG Red being all on the same page, essentially. And I reckon if this was a LAN, I reckon CLG Red would have won it as well. Also, guys, if you guys are on YouTube and wondering what the exclamation mark charity sign is up there, basically, in my Twitch channel, doing a charity campaign for RAIN and for NAMI, which is the people, the rape prevention and stuff like that, which is RAIN, and NAMI, which is the Mental Institute. The first one is because a lot of there's been a lot of sexual assaults and sexual assaults and harassment in the esport industry. So I want to give some money to RAIN to help them out to prevent this sort of activity happening in the esports scene and in the real world as well. And NAMI is mainly for Rekful, who one of the biggest streamers who well, there's a few others as well who've committed suicide due to their mental health issues and mental illnesses and demons inside, and we need to get them treated and back on track, or managed at least, the best part. And, that's what they're there for. So if you guys want to come into my Twitch channel, type exclamation mark charity, you may be able to donate through there and, help everyone out. The main campaign is currently at the moment to get $300 for both causes. At the moment, the NAMI cause has got $90 and the other one has $30 as far as I know from this update. So now let's get into the games for CSGO. Let's get into the game. So first off, we're going to talk about the recent, no, it's not recent 9 to 5, but 9 to 5 tournament once again. So 9 to 5, it's a league, basically, a lot of BO3s with the same old teams, and there's a lot of casters in it as well. Like I gotta say, now casters are finding it really, really hard to get, well, I'm not gonna say get a job, but get a gig at the moment because there's nothing, or no real tournaments to be casted. As you can see, like, a lot of the tier 1 casters are now casting events like Dreamhack Showdown. They even, streaming on their own channel and stuff like that. Like, it's only really Dreamhack Showdown that was, big tier 1 event potentially. So you can see. Okay, sorry guys. This cramp's killing me actually. It's a weird chest cramp. Like, it's right here, but anyway, the show must go on. So, you basically got, I think most of Vortex with Eternal J, Dweg, T-Time, and a few others as well. And I haven't heard of, like, when you get to the bottom 4 casters, I haven't really heard much from him. And, you get a lot of casters now. Like, I know the guys who are from the top 5 downwards, I know of them, because they usually do UCC and stuff like that. And, Chev, give him big thanks. He's doing the observing all by himself, which is actually quite hard to do for all those matches, given that it's a 9 to 5 league where it starts at 9 AM and ends at 5 PM. So basically all the matches are BO3, so essentially there's like a lot of teams here. And I can tell you guys now, like, with these teams like Endpoint Hard Legion, I think they're doing it to keep the money rolling. So, if their team wins any money, they're able to keep the org running. And I think this is why a lot of these tournaments are running during this time, is to keep the orgs getting money. Because, like, if the orgs don't get money, obviously they can't run. And, just any sort of tournament win for the players keeps their lifestyle up as well, and keeps their wages out. Because you got to know as well, like, with these teams, like, most of these teams are salaried. So as you can see here, like, most of these teams will be salaried. If not, of course, it's just some extra pocket money if they do win, and to pay for their future tournaments as well. But you can see, Luminar, Navi Junior, like, a lot of teams, like a lot of tier 3, tier 2 teams, even Big Academy as well. Game of Legion and do Game of Legion here as well, Zarko Balls, like a lot of top advanced and low Mountain Dew League teams as well. And as you can see here, new Singularity as well, and Tiki-Taka and a new star coming in here as well. With I'm gonna say, they did pick up. I think Tiki-Taka did lose one of their players, but I'm not terribly too sure, but we'll see. But, so far so good in the group stage. This is the qualifications. This was 9 to 5 Dawn. So the top 2 teams qualified for the main event. and then basically they went into a round robin. I think top 3 team. I think the any teams that gets 3 wins qualifies, and then there'll be a round of 12 for the playoffs. As far as I know, so only 3 teams get eliminated from here. And essentially, as you see here, a few matches have already been done, and then they get to the round of 12, quarterfinals, semifinals, and grand finals. And basically, I think the round 5 matches are just basically decide who's going to get eliminated, who's going to stay in, essentially. And basically, the high matches will go on to the next part of the tournament. So yeah, with round 3, there'll be 2 teams that go through. The high matches, 3 teams will go through. So there'll be 8 teams that will go through, and basically the rest will be down here in the round of 12. So essentially, with a 9 to 5, it's an interesting little playoff setup. I think it's really, really complicated. It looks really, really complicated. Like, see here, top 8 teams go to the playoff. Top 2 teams for each conference advance to the Swiss stage. It's actually really, really crazy. Like, holy moly. Like, that's a lot of games, I'm going to say, for a tournament. So casters are working overtime, obviously. Now, next up, guys, so far, I expect probably, let's see what we've got here still. I probably expect alternate attacks to win this. Like, there'll be a potential between alternate attacks and Gambit youngsters to win this. I just feel like the other teams, and Game of Legion might have a shot as well. I feel like the other teams are just a bit lower than the other teams in there. Like, just a bit lower altogether. And I don't think, they don't have much of a chance. Like, alternate attacks are definitely in massive form. Avers are pretty decent as well. And there's also Simon as well. Ticket Target, I'm a bit surprised by that. They have already got a win on the board against Luminar. And, they've been the guys that have really risen up in the scene recently, especially in Advance with their massive lower bracket run, which in the end was ended by Saw, I believe. But, it's a massive lower bracket run in general, to be honest, because they were put down to the lower bracket in the first round and almost got to I think they got to the lower bracket finals where they were eliminated. So next up, we're going to talk about week 4 of Malta Vibes, and you can see here a lot of the same crew that I've been casting at the moment. A lot of the same crew, because I gotta tell you guys now, like, there's not many jobs whatsoever at the moment with casters. Like, you can see here, you got your Seaside, you got Turtle J, you got Scrib, and all that guys here from Malta Vibes. And yes, I did try to apply for a lot of these casting positions, but wasn't really responded to. I'm gonna say now, with the UK casting scene, I assume they got a tight-knit community that do get people in and stuff like that. So was unable to get any gigs into this one, and it would have been really, really good, because I think Malta Vibes was across the weekend as well. So basically, similar teams, as I said before, it's basically the same teams trying to get a bit of money on the board for these orgs and stuff like that to keep the CSGO sport running. And you can see there's a few Lichby Vikings. I think they're all invited in the end. Yes, they were. And in the end, the Gambit Youngsters won 2-1 against LDLC. And I'm a bit perplexed when Gambit Youngsters would get into ESA Advanced again, because they did withdraw from it. And I feel like they could be definitely a very, very decent team in the Mountain Dew League. And they might even get invited for relegation. Like, I have a suspicion they might even get invited for it. Like, one of these teams that aren't in the Mountain Dew League. Because there's a lot of European teams that are not in the ESA system. Which is, that kind of thing. Like, I feel like they could benefit from it as well. And give it to Gambit Youngsters. Gambit's a big org. SAS org as well. And they also could change the Gambit Youngsters to Gambit Gaming to be their official team. Since Gambit Gaming don't have an official team in CSGO anymore. So, so far, I was going to say, Gambit, 2-0-2-0. The only map they lost was to LDLC. They also beat LDLC on their favorite map of Dust too. And they also LDLC on Inferno, which was actually quite odd for a CIS team to lose on Inferno. Now, next up, we go to the Mythic Cup. So, Z-Pug Gods, welcome back to Android and Co. And I've got to say, Android and Co, what a welcome back. They come back come back from Valorant. Like, as I said before, I said the older NA players weren't going to stay in Valorant because there's so little teams, and there's so many spots that have been competed for, like Rainbow Six players, Overwatch players, and CSGO players, that, once all the teams have picked up their rosters, I don't think there's going to be any hope for some of the players in here. And as you can see, Marquez, Zelsis, Infinite, Cooper, and Android made their way back to CSGO. And this is what happens when you go to a new game. It's really just a kind of a gamble. And a lot of people are like, oh man, they should have done that. It was dumb of them to do that. And they're like, spinning on them. And it's like, sometimes you gotta do it. Like, sometimes you gotta, like, push the button and see, what you can get from, the CSGO. Like, see what you can get, because, not from CSGO, from Valorant. But it's good for them to come back, and it's good for them, just really just slip in back to CSGO and win a tournament and get some pretty good teams as well, They, of course they did verse Triumph in the end, but they versed some pretty good teams in Levitate as well. They're versing some good tier 2 NA CSGO teams, and it's good to see that they're doing an amazing job. And welcome back. We definitely need these guys back in the scene, and it'd be great to have an org, take them on as well. Like an NA org, like I'm gonna say here, like T1, TSM, like guys, you gotta start looking at these teams. Like this is a pretty decent team that you should look at and maybe pay a salary to. And I'd be a bit disappointed once again if TSM or any NA orgs don't really get involved with CSGO. And you got to kind of ask him like why, like maybe even CLG, maybe even Misfits and stuff like that, because the NA CSGO scene, I think it really needs just more of a chance from the orgs and the players to really work together, in my opinion. Because like we've got a lot of great great orgs here, great players and stuff like that. It just feels like it doesn't get invested in as much as the EU scene. Maybe because there's a lack of money, or maybe because of something else, but I'm not entirely too sure either. So let's see what else is going on. So we're going to go to the Dreamhack Summer. So we're going to go to the EU one, obviously. So it was 6 teams. Basically, it was an open qualifier. And there was a bit of drama with the open qualifier, as there was no actual seeding. Like, the only 2 teams that got invited was Team Originum and Galaxy Racer Female. And those 2 teams were probably the right teams to invite. I'm going to be blatantly honest with that. Like, they were the right teams to invite. They're probably the best 2 female teams in Europe at the moment, with Vilga leading Galaxy Racer Female, and I believe it's Giuliano leading Originum. And that was probably the game to look for. Like, it was Originum v Galaxy Racer, and basically Originum won both games 2-0, and that led them into being the champions there. And that was probably the game that was being looked forward to in Europe. Like, a lot of the other games, they were relatively close. Arcane Wave was very, very decent as well. And Skadies, it's actually a funny one, or Skadies, the ladies team. I find that's an interesting ladies team name, so you guys can see here. Very, very smart from the Norwegian org. But they got bundled out pretty quickly by DefFox. And I gotta say, Originum and Galaxy Racers were just controlling it basically to the grand final. And in the end, well, 16-11, 16-13 was really, really close. But in the end, not close enough. I think the first game was pretty one-sided as well. Yeah, it was. Like, the first game was really close. And then, well, the second map, absolute smash. They also had different map setup as well. Like, I gotta say to Galaxy Racer, they did adjust to the map pool of Originum, like picking Overpass and Inferno. But in the end, it didn't, really mind that much. So I gotta say, overall, like, the casting for the event as well was just mainly female. So it's got, Frankie as a host, Sapphire as the analysis. I thought she would be the observer, but interesting that Heather got an analysis role. And it was Pansy, Just Harry, and Moses as the commentary. Pansy was actually really good. I actually realized how much I actually missed Pansy, because I was like going, oh, that sounds like a Brit. Then I realized it was Pansy. I'm like, oh boy. And that's what I was missing. Like, because I remember a person who was really, really good at commentating and stuff like that. And that was the person I wanted to model my casting over. And it turns out she quit for some reason. Like, someone said she got bullied out of the scene. I'm like, going, what the hell? Like, why would you bully such a good caster like that? Also, as well, Velas and Potter both did the commentary and analysis on the side as well. And it's more of a female, female-only league casting for females, pretty much. And so we can actually get more female talent into the scene as well. And what I'm really happy about as well with the female CSGO, or not CSGO scene, but the talent scene as well, is that none of the bad stories have been originating from the CSGO talent scene, which is really, really good to hear, because I don't want to hear any such of sexual assault or anything like that from these areas, given what's happened to esports in general, with Method and OPG and a lot of other orgs as well. And, the Smash scene, for example, as well, where there's a lot of, really, really, really bad things happen there with, if you guys want to take a look at it, do so. So good to see, you've got a good, strong female scene as well. So go to the NA scene as well. And also as well, Vilga, just one of the players from Galaxy Racer, decided to become an analysis. And I would say she'll be very, very good at it. Like, she was very, very good at her role. Like, she was the IGL for Mimi's team when they played in the Copenhagen Flames. And she was very strong IGL, as well as a very strong fragger as well. And I feel like she's probably got a very, very good mind for CSGO as well. Because a lot of her decisions when they played for the Copenhagen Flames were incredible. Like, I was thinking, oh shit, like, how would you know that? Like the audibles, mid-round, based on the information they had, was very, very good. So here we go here. So basically, CLG Red won, then Dignitas was second. So, basically the match is going to be between CLG Red and Dignitas. And overall, it's going to be Dignitas probably. No, not Dignitas. CLG Red winning the entire thing. Like, I didn't think Dignitas was going to have a chance, as you see here. CLG 16-13, 16-14, 2-0. But the grand final was even closer as Dignitas managed to win the map pick of Mirage. And, in the end, CLG Red won 2-1 in an epic thriller of overtime on Nuke. Because I think Dignitas did draw it back. Yeah, that's right. Dignitas did draw it back to get OT on Nuke. And it was a massive comeback for Dignitas, but they just couldn't close it out in the end on their CT side. As CLG Red finally won a T side round. And, got to 19, won all the rounds, and they just won that one CT round, and they became champions. Now, I've got to say, CLG Red, incredible. Absolutely incredible, and they well-deserved winners. Also going to make a, big hello as well. If you guys are wondering why Miss Harvey was not on the analyst or caster panel, she was kind of playing in the tournament in another team. So I think she was, mentoring these lovely ladies. I was going to say young ladies, but lovely ladies in, basically becoming better CSGO players. And it's good to see, there's a lot of NA scene with the CSGO players as well, the female teams as well. And it's good to see that, great to see that. And it's great to see, the female CSGO scene being, shown. And also as well, it's got, by the way, during the CSGO casting, the modding was an issue for good and an issue for bad, according to Twitch, according to Twitter as well. Some of the people who were supporting the female teams were getting banned, and some of the people who were clearly being trolls and being arseholes were not getting banned and getting away with stuff. But towards the end, it got a lot better. A lot of the trolls are trying to roast the female streamers, female players, saying they could beat them. And, dude, one guy got so slammed by Frankie. It was so funny. Frankie remembered playing with the dude and being better than him. And Frankie's like, dude, Frankie, really slammed into the ground. I think Petra at one point. One of the guys, oh, these guys would be faced at level 3s. And Petra's like, I'm faced at level 10. Do you want a 1v1? There's a lot of roasting from the female CSGO scene, which is probably about time. Because, you can't really stay quiet when you have all these guys coming in chat. This is what I don't like. It's even when I cast female games. When these guys come in chat and say, oh, these guys are silvers. Oh, these guys are gold. And then when they target female players in general by saying they should be in the kitchen and stuff like that, it's fucking disgusting to see. It's fucking disgusting to see. And I just time it out right off and be like, or challenge them to it. Dude, where are you? Are you at this level? Why don't you have a team? I always say that. If you're so good, why aren't you here? Don't be that guy that, shits on everyone and you don't have anything to really back it up with. If you guys may have seen on Twitter, with the CSGO scene as well, or not CSGO, with Valorant, where a guy was claiming he was ex-Swole Patrol and had an ADR of 127, and he was the best MDL player ever, even though the best MDL player ever in that ADR was 114, which was Brax. He was trying to claim that he was better than Brax. I'm sitting there going oh dude, man, what are you doing? What are you saying, bro? You know you're not that good. But anyways, let's get to the next one. So first off, ESL 1 Cologne. Just in case you guys didn't hear last time we were on Chilltime, ESL 1 Cologne was delayed and it was turned into an online tournament in the end. And basically, it was online setting due to COVID. And basically, there's the teams for the EU, NA, Asia, and Oceania. So they've basically closed it all out. So they've got Renegades, Order, Avant, and Chiefs on the Oceania side. They've got Tylo, Vici, Victus, and Beyond on the, on the Asian side. And lastly, they got, the NA tournament being Liquid, Cloud9, Triumph, and Evil Geniuses. Then they have 100 Thieves, Fury, Gen G, and Chaos. And Chaos, ironically enough, got invited over MRBR because MRBR are in Europe at the moment. So interesting to see Chaos, got an invite there. And it'd have been, I'm going to say now, it would have been a very, very interesting little game between Chaos and MRBR, given the Leaf drama recently. And I'm going to say now, there were some casters that were talked to about this as well, privately by other casters, to really not draw an impact or drama from it, because it's getting quite annoying where certain Brazilian casters were casting the games purely to see if Leaf would to get clips of Leaf cheating or not, with bias and stuff like that. And a lot of casters have been talked to about it, because you don't want to be stoking the flames of drama and a witch hunt like Gorles did earlier, because it's not good for the CSGO scene. And it's not good to see a player being witch hunted, for example, with Rops and a few others back in the day, where they were deemed to be cheating, but turned out they weren't cheating. They were actually just really fucking good. So now we've got Europe with Na'Vi, Astralis, Mouse, Vitality, Big, Heretics, OG, Mountain Lions, Fnatic, G2, FaZe, Nip, Sprout, Complexity, Heroic, and MIBR. So North is not in here, which I'm surprised about, but again, given they lost KJB, or Kirby, I don't expect them to be in there at all. And with the Europe, I expect probably Big to win this. Big have been very, in form. But the guys to watch out for will be definitely Vitality, G2, and FaZe. I feel like the other teams, like, the other teams are just a bit below there on skill, or their form is lacking severely, massively in Astralis as well. Astralis and Mouse have been lacking severely in form. With the NA scene, I probably expect Evil Geniuses, Liquid, or 100 Thieves to win that. Triumph should be the dark horse in that. Like, Triumph have been pretty inconsistent, but they are mostly the dark horse where, when they don't expect to win, they win. Now, with the agency, I expect Tyler to win it. Tyler have gone back into, amazing form. They should be able to just brush aside the rest of the Asian scene. And with Oceania, most likely Renegades, but, Ordered Chiefs and Avant can potentially upset here. They can potentially upset, given that Renegades have not played much games. Like, they have definitely developed Ringgrass, I reckon, Renegades, because they've not played many games whatsoever because they're too high up and they can't play ESL Pro League because, they're stuck in Australia at the moment. Now, what we've got here, we've got a show match while COVID-19 is going on. We've got a show match between 2010 at Navi and 2020 Navi. So, interesting little show match. And it's going to be between, the current lineup and the old lineup. And it's going to be between, mixture of 1.6 and CSGO maps. So as another tier 1 event, you got Pimp, Vendetta, Moses, and Anders, and Stunner on it. And you got Blade and a few others as well for the Russian cast. 2 seconds, guys. Oh. Got this lower chest muscle, and it's, oh my god. I keep tensing it up, and I'll be like, why am I doing this? That sort of thing. When you know something hurts and you keep fucking doing it anyway? That's me at the moment. But either way, this is, what's going to be happening. So it's going to be Navi versus the, the show match here. So I'll give you guys a bit of lineup. So it's going to be like, Train Inferno Tuscan, and then Train Inferno Dust 2 on CSGO. So this will be the 1.6 versions, and this will be the CSGO versions, basically. So basically a BO6, essentially, and they'll play all the maps. So instead of Dust 2, it'll be Tuscan. Tuscan's this 1.6 map, which was popular back in the day. So next up, we're going to talk about some transfer news as well. We've got Envy to make multiple changes. Main reason for that is because Envy have been pretty poor. Like, let's be honest, Envy have been pretty shit. Like, they've been very, very poor. They're still building around Nifty. They know they're going to get rid of Ryan and maybe Kykes or Mihu. And they're looking for PTR as well. Like, that's what they're looking for at the moment. Like, Ryan's mainly been a support, but he hasn't been fragging out that much. They're trying to get rid of Calix or Mihu, considering that they might get homesick, given the fact they're both from Europe, as Calix is from Turkey, and Mihu is obviously from Poland. Now, so they've got Moose and Nifty still, and, Ryan has been the worst player. And, basically the removals of Calix and Mihu will be a bit of a surprise, given the fact that they are the top 2 performing players, just in case you guys are wondering, the top 2 performing players. And it'll be just Nifty and Moose. So I'm going to say that now, is that, well, Envy really need to get rid of someone else. Like, I don't think it's, well, Ryan probably obviously to get rid of, but they've got, with Nifty, given the bad rumors with him, I don't know why Envy have literally put all of their chips in his basket with the rumors surrounding him that he's he needs to give off the reins or in-game. They need to get an in-game leader, because that's what Envy is suffering from, is that Nifty can't in-game lead. He also had these issues in Renegades when they put him as in-game leader, and they were absolutely terrible. I think Nifty's got to realize that maybe he's not built for leadership. Okay, like sometimes you're just not built for leadership. Sometimes you're just good for your role. And I think in this day and age, I think, you might be good for your role, okay? You might be just, give someone else a chance to in-game lead this team. Moose, of course, wouldn't give him the chance to in-game lead the team yet. Moose is a very, very clutch player, very, very amazing player. And he's probably the superstar playmaker that you want to build behind. And I think, look for an NA in-game leader. But I think a lot of those players have gone off to Valorant as well. And they really haven't been back. The likes of FNS, for example. Like, even though FNS can't frag out that well, might want to look to him, like, rather than trying to go after, trying to cobble together, some sort of, team out of parts that might not gel together. So as well with Envy, Mihu's safe, very obvious. Like, it's very obvious that Mihu's going to stay. Like, I don't think Mihu's not going to stay. If they kick off Mihu, I'm going to say now, Mihu's going to be swooped upon by multiple teams. Okay, like, even I wouldn't be surprised if Sprout try to go after him as well. Like, I can imagine like 5 or 6 teams that would benefit from Mihu being in the roster. Okay, and Mihu's just another one of those frags. It's like kind of like Dihar as well, where he's like one of those guys that will punish people if they don't aim properly. Like, if you lose those aim duels, they will punish you and they can easily get 1 or 2 kills in the entry and essentially dictate a game for you. And I can imagine a lot of players would be after him if he is the one being kicked out. And I'm going to say now, it's not. It's not going to be him. If they kick Mihu out, they are doing a massive disservice. And I'm going to say, like, if you want to kick out players, I'd say before you even considering kicking out Mihu, you should be kicking out Moose and Nifty. Okay, like that's what I'm going to say. Oh god, I'm not sure, but I think I've pulled a muscle here because every time I flex, oh man, either way. What a day. Every time I feel like my muscle is working again, I pull another muscle. And this time it's my chest muscle here. So it feels like I'm having a cramp. Oh man. I'm not having a good day in my body, okay? That's what you gotta say, guys. I'm not having a good day. So I'll probably rest it up afterwards as well. But yeah, Mihu's not gonna go, and well, Envy's not gonna get I'm gonna tell you now, Envy's not gonna qualify for the majors. They are so far behind. And the NA scene's just leaving the dust. Like, they can't compete with 100 Thieves. Like, they can't compete with any of the top 6. So, probably a move is probably on the cards. And as you see here, like, they're not getting to the major. Okay? Let's just put it that way. Not getting to the major at all. So, Triumph, they've replaced Curry with Penny. So, Curry's going on to study. And the main reason why he's doing that is because of the online nature of CSGO. Okay? And they're going to keep Curry on the roster. But if they go back to offline CSGO, he's going to be dropped altogether. The main reason for that is because if they go to offline play, that's going to mean Curry's going to have to travel, and Curry can't study. So at the moment, Curry's going to college, and he's obviously doing college online. And that's why he can't probably really commit to a CSGO schedule. And I gotta say, Curry's been very, very, very good on the Triumph CSGO scene. With Triumph, like especially very good in NA scene. As you can see here, ADR, KPR, ratings 1, he's very, very good young superstar for Triumph. And he's being replaced by Penny, which was from the Rugrats here, but now he's in, arguably Penny's a slight upgrade. But I gotta say now, Triumph definitely, aiming for Curry was a big option for them, and they played incredibly well with him as well. And, I kind of like Triumph, Triumph have been incredible team to watch. And, yeah, I'm enjoying their team. I'm enjoying this roster. And, essentially what the team will be now will be basically Shake, Scrim, Spongy, Junior, and Penny. And they made the first appearance in the Mythic Cup 2. They lost, obviously, in the semi-finals. He should make his cash now and go to Union later. He have money and the pick of the girls any of his lectures. And to be fair, though, maybe he's getting a doctorate or some shit like that. Like, if he's becoming a doctor or anything like that, you probably want to do your studies other than, gambling on the CSGO, dream of becoming a pro. And I think he's probably weighed this up for a while, whether or not he should try to become a CSGO pro, or should he just go to college instead. And a lot of players do this, but they have, studies on the side while trying to become a pro player. And unfortunately for Curry, it's like he's made that much of an impact in the scene that he can make that step, but at the same time, he doesn't have enough resources to make that step as well. And I don't think he'll be getting paid that much in Triumph, to be honest. Like in Triumph, I don't think he'll be getting paid that much. So next up, guys, so we got a new little thing here from Dexterity from Richard Lewis. So this is going to be probably the last thing today. So what's happened, guys, is that there's a new game-breaking exploit in CSGO that was realized about 6 months ago, just in case you guys are wondering, from Richard Lewis at Dexterity. So we got this video here.
I just downloaded the free browser extension Honey, and I want to see how much money I can save with it.
Hello, everyone, it's Richard Lewis
don't care.
again with another video.
But yeah.
Today, doing something quick.
So what's happened, guys? So that's Richard. So Richard Lewis, apparently he's like 40 plus, and people keep calling him a boomer, and he does not look old at all. He looks like early 30s, okay? So I can give him a bit of a compliment here. He's early 30s, 100%. So what's going to happen here, guys, is that basically there's a new bug in this game, where we'll show you shortly, is that the smoke actually does not bloom, okay? There's some settings that will basically stop the smoke from blooming unless you run into it. So basically, there's been a few people who've been abusing this. As you may notice, like a lot of people have essentially reported games where players were having good shots through the smoke and nailing headshots everywhere. And they were reporting that given the fact that, could they have been using this glitch? And Faceit have been aware of it as well. where FACEIT have banned a few people as well for the smoke glitch. Like that, they people reported them and banned it for it. And FACEIT's been on the front foot of this. I'm not sure about ESEA, but FACEIT have been very, very aggressive in this to make sure that if anyone's doing this, they'll be banned immediately. I think Valve will probably fix this shortly. Like as you see here, like basically it'll go backwards, there's no smoke. And you see how abusive it is, and you can imagine where a person throws a smoke down to block off an area, but is able to spray through it with 100% accuracy. There was a few memes in there as well with Astralis being like, don't take my tactics, don't tell them what we do and stuff like that. And like Astralis and G2 were having a bit of a joke, being like, oh my god, delete this now, Reddit, delete this post, OP, please. They're having a bit of a joke that they were using it, but I don't think any of the pro teams were using it. But I have a feeling a lot of people in the pug scene, like FACEIT and ESEA, for example, may have been using it. However, there's already been a fix for it, is that trusted mode forces you to reset your settings. Like, to set your settings up for this bug, you'd have to exit CSGO and run I think a third-party file to get rid of it. And it's not detected by anti-cheat, okay? Because it's not a cheat. It just it edits the game files to make the smoke bloom not actually appear unless you go into it. And, yeah, so basically Valve will detect it with trusted mode and then have to reset. So, you know, they'll have to restart the game and the settings will be gone. And that's what someone said on Reddit, is that, you know, that's what the settings for, and they've already kind of fixed it with trusted mode. However, with trusted mode, though, they've done some other fuck-ups as well. Like, even with untrusted at the moment, you cannot actually show CSGO. You actually have to get display capture. So a lot of these tournaments have to, you know, get, you know, clean feeds and stuff now instead of Go TVs, because Go TVs don't show up. Like, it's all display capture now rather than Go TV, which is very, very frustrating as a caster, especially for me, that I can't view CSGO in game anymore. I have to display capture it, and if I alt tab to check any stats or anything like that, everyone can see it. And of course, I don't want everyone to see like what my tabs are and stuff like that, so they get an idea on what I am doing. So first of all, guys, we've got a few questions. Let's see the questions here. What's my biggest achievement so far? So, Two Twisted Murph, so Murph as I call him, his nickname. What is your biggest achievement so far? My biggest achievement so far is, I'm gonna say, it's a hard one for streaming. I think it was becoming a Mount Dooley caster and being accepted into the Dreamhack closed qualifier and being told by a lot of people that, you know, you're the best caster of the major and all that stuff. Like, being told a lot of people in chat. And, like, my biggest achievement in the future is going to be getting a co-caster. Like, that's going to be the biggest achievement I have at the moment, even though I, like, you know, think about it, stress and think about it, you know, I probably need to get a co-caster. And I probably need to approach some people in the Mount Dooley to get a co-caster kind of role and cast with them and just chill out. And then, you know, I can easily turn on my stream afterwards as well. And I'm going to tell you now, like, I applied for partner again, and they declined me on the basis that all I'm getting is embeds and raids and hosts, and that I'm actually not getting the viewership that says, like, it's not my viewers, it's from hosts and stuff like that. And yeah, that's, you know, been, you know, that's my biggest achievement so far, is becoming a ESA partner and casting Dreamhack Winter, and also casting Epicenter as well. You know, not Dreamhack Winter, sorry, Dreamhack Oceania for the closed qualifiers. Any plans for a co-host for your casting from Bethazar? Yes. Yes. Okay, definitely a co-host. Because at the moment, like, since I don't know any of the casters, and either I don't know the casters, and I don't know the casters, or I've had bad interventions or whatever, or bad first impressions with them. I haven't had many, you know, co-casters on the side. I know Two Tap Tony got a role in Eden Malta with Malta Vibes with I think it was Dweg, and, you know, a few things like that as well. Also as well with the last question, which is a. By the way, guys, I think I might go off early because my chest muscle is throbbing. Well, not throbbing, but it's being annoying. The next question is, how long have you been playing WoW? What's your favorite character? I've been playing WoW since vanilla. Okay. I'm trying to think when I first started playing. I think it was like when I was 15. I think this is like 2005 or 2006. I think it was just when ZG came out is when I started playing WoW. Okay. And that was on my Warlock. Then I quit playing for a bit because my laptop was a potato. And we couldn't step foot in Orgrimmar without DCing, okay? Like, that's how bad my computer was. Like, if I stepped foot in Orgrimmar, like, our computer would just explode from the amount of people that were there. And we, like, basically, me and my brother had to, like, you know, have a half-stone at Thunderbluff, okay? Because no one went to Thunderbluff, okay? It was like the retirement village, so we could go on the AH and everything wouldn't crash. And this was back in the days where AH were only server-wide, and to trade across Alliance, you would have to go to the neutral AH, okay? And this was back in the old days when computers are utter fucking shit, okay? And my favorite character, I'm gonna say now, is probably my Paladin. So basically what happened, like, my first raiding spot was as a mage until BC, then I got onto a Paladin until MOP. And then I switched to Shaman, then I switched to Warrior in MOP. And then in Legion, I think, no, not Legion, in BFA, I switched to Demon Hunter. So it's my longest character has been my Paladin. My Paladin has been played for 4 expansions, almost. And yeah, what I enjoy about my Paladin the most is definitely the healing aspect of Holy Light and Flash of Light, and the interaction of Illumination. Now, Holy Paladins have completely changed since then, like, they've completely changed. Like, now the Master is a lot different from when I last played in MOP with, you know, you had the shield instead of the distance, you know, Lightbringer. And now, like, you know, got more, like, Crusader Strike being put in a rotation as well. It's good to see that sort of thing's actually happening, and Holy Shock is a part of the rotation. Like, I remember back in the day when Holy Shock was just some shitty instant heal that no one used, and everyone talented, but no one used it because it was pretty garbage. Or you only used it to crit, and if you crit, you got instant Holy Light. Like, there wasn't really much reason to use it. Like, it was, like, a garbage heal. But now they've made Holy Shock a fairly decent heal. And I've also made it part of the rotation as well. And they made it, you know, such a integral part, as well as milling the boss as well, like Crusader Strike. Like, a lot of Paladins have been asking this forever, where they could weave their damage abilities into healing spells. Like, you know, Crusader Strike lessening the cooldown of Holy Shock and vice versa. So that's where you notice a lot of Holy Paladins going to melee. And yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. That's pretty much that question there from Zazam. And yeah, that's pretty much all the questions, unless anyone's got any questions in chat for me. You know, any questions about CSGO or any questions about, you know, WoW, anything like that. Also, the co-caster as well with Bear. Like, I was planning to look at Josh or another caster as well in the AU scene to see what happens. What are you maining in SL? What spec will be Havoc Demon Hunter? Even though it's looking pretty grim for Havoc Demon Hunter, like, you know, being a 1-button rotation, I'm probably still going to main that, if not going to main Vengeance instead. You'll be fine, dude. Given what Fellhammer's been saying about Demon Hunters on the Alpha, it hasn't been good. Like, it hasn't been good at all. Like, the Legendaries are pretty shit. And, yeah. Like, it's not good. Like, the news is not good at all. So, yeah. That's not the good thing at the moment. However, you know, Chaos Fury, like there's a few legendaries are pretty decent. Like the I-Beam legendary doesn't reset the I-Beam cooldown. And there's also the Chaos Fury one where you get more damage with Chaos Strike. So yeah, that's what's happening at the moment. Also, the Momentum spec is becoming the best DPS spec, given that Blade Dance is now like an 8-second cooldown. Where you in one demonic window, you can't even get a second Blade Dance because it's still on cooldown. And there's been a few issues there where Blade Dance isn't even a viable option for your rotation anymore. It is literally just spamming Demon's Bite and Chaos Strike, and like, you know, you can't get more than one Blade Dance in a demonic rotation, which is going to kill the single target DPS of Demon Hunters, in my opinion. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna say with Vengeance, I haven't tested Vengeance that much. Like, I think a thing's been set up, and basically with oh shit, dude, I sneezed and since I've pulled my chest muscle. Oh my god. But anyway, with Vengeance, Like, with Fell Devastation, in the Discords at the moment, people are hating it. Like, they don't care that Fell Devastation is baseline. Like, that's the point. Like, a lot of people at the moment are saying this. They're like going, Fell Devastation, great for on pull, but fuck me trying to build around it. That's what they're saying at the moment. Like, they're not, there's a lot of bad signs for that as well with Demon Hunters with Vengeance as well. As that's another one. Is the fact that, like, they've not really added any spells for fucking Demon Hunters, okay? Like, they've added spells for a lot of other classes, just not for Demon Hunters, okay? Like, there's been no extra spells. Anyways, guys, that's probably going to be it for Chill Time for Jose today. So if you guys, you know, enjoyed the stream, you enjoyed the stream, not the stream, the YouTube vid, you can subscribe below, like the video, and share it with your friends. And if you want to see more of this, you can see this on Twitch TV as well. If you want to donate to charities, you just go to my !mark charity, and you go join Twitch TV at Jose Gaming, put a free in there, and you'll be here as well. The link should be below as well. And yeah, thank you guys for keeping me company today, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. So see you guys later on YouTube.